The world is changing. Do you remember all the fear about the Great Reset?
Everyone's going on about the Great Reset, aren't they?
It's called the Great Reset.
This is the Great Reset.
It is called the Great Reset.
The famous quote was, "You will own nothing and be happy." So the idea is that the world is dramatically changing because of the amount of wealth inequality. Now the world is also changing because we have robots and AI being quickly developed. And that will make a radical change in the world, just like cars made a radical change in the world. And like the world changed from the Wild West to more of what we have in the modern world. We have a whole new transition which is coming into place. People were afraid of the plan of the World Economic Forum, but the problem is we have a worse plan coming into place. We have the plan of the Dark Enlightenment. They're trying to make that happen. We have the plan of the white supremacists trying to make that happen. We have the plan of the Christian nationalists. They're trying to make that happen. And in the midst of this, we have the plan of Trump, which is basically just him taking as much as he possibly can from anyone that he can, from Venezuela, from Cuba, from Iran, wanted to take oil from them, take control from them. He would have invaded Greenland, was threatening to invade Greenland, but NATO was saying, no, we're not going to let you do that. His plan is just to take as much as possible from anyone that he can, give people a lot of flowery promises. In the process, people get to carry the tax burden. And for the general public, he's wanting to, and he is cutting any job that he possibly can. Park rangers, the Consumer Protection Agency is cutting out anything he can and diverting more money towards the military, which he can use to steal as much as he possibly can. He's taking money from FEMA, so there's less disaster relief. For the public, it's cut expenses, maximize his own personal profit. People want to live in denial and just think that we can improve things a little bit and get better and everything will be fine. But allowing a con man, a complete lying, deceptive, narcissistic, gold-driven con man to be in charge is not a good plan. Allowing a Nero or a Caligula or a Stalin or a mustache man to be in charge is not a good plan. It's fine people being afraid of the plan of the World Economic Forum. Perhaps we can think of a better plan than what that was. But no matter what, things are not going to remain the same, and we need to adapt to the changes. Living in some kind of denial is not going to help anything. Practically, the plan right now isn't you will own nothing and be happy. Practically speaking, the plan now is you will own nothing and starve. Because there's nothing better than that currently being offered on the table. It's cutting jobs and cutting expenses, maximizing profit for the very richest people, and everyone else is being slowly squeezed out of the picture. If you become homeless, you will end up out on the street, and then they won't even let you on the street. They're making laws against sleeping in your cars. They're making laws against people staying homeless inside the cities and just making them so they have to go out into the forest where you don't have access to resources, and basically your only option is starving, getting sick and dying without any health care. That's very real and is happening to people who had professional careers. Fear of the Great Reset was centered around a billionaire takeover, a mass transfer of wealth from the poorest people to the richest people. But the plan was that they were saying that they were, whether or not they actually would have, they were going to make sure that everyone could still have their own small space and could have their basic needs met. And then people could enjoy relationships, people could enjoy art and music and creating things. You wouldn't have much for resources. You would have a lot of possibility for self-educating yourself. but the amount of the size of the home you'd be living in, your access to travel and so forth would be very limited. For sure, there were things about that which were disappointing compared to what life has been like and the possibilities that people have had. But the problem is the situation which is being replaced. They were afraid of that, so they fought against that. But the problem is now they've turned over to a situation where there's a far worse, far more dangerous, far more scary future in store before us. And they might not have spelt it out clearly, like the World Economic Forum had spelt all of this out, what their plan was, what they were going to try to do. This was all public. Now the plan is just Trump does whatever he feels like doing in a particular time that he thinks is profitable for him. And for the general public, it's nothing. There's nothing there. Taxes have almost remained the same. Inflation, everything is getting more expensive, and people are losing jobs. That's what's happening. And that's not going to improve the situation. The manufacturing that he's promising, whether or not that's true, that there is much more manufacturing coming into place, that manufacturing is going to be done mainly by robots.
Because my prediction is that there'll be more robots than people.
In China, they have entire factories that they don't even need lights on. They work 24 hours a day, and they're completely manned by robots. Having a faith in that somehow you're going to get better jobs and so on because some extra factories are going to come in place is no smarter than someone 100 years ago thinking that, if we can make a horse and buggy factory, we'll prosper and everything will be fine. Completely foolish. People need to start thinking about the future and working out what a good direction is going to be. So we need to avoid the problems that currently exist, and we also need to figure out what we can work towards, which can be an actual good plan.
And then the big political and economic question of the 21st century will be, what do we need humans for?